Okay, we are back with the engine on YouTube. Right now we're doing the NFC West. Similar to the last 3 videos, we're going to go down the major free agency signings, trades, whatever that happened in this division. Give it some grades, give it some other analysis. I know Nick Freeman and Nick Folk are very antsy to get started because they want to make a public service announcement about what they think. Do you think it's the worst trade in NFL history?
It might be at this point.
It's bad. Reveal to the people.
It was the worst of my life.
Reveal to the people,
okay.
What is this trade?
So starting with the Arizona Cardinals, by the way, this is our 4th video of the night. We're going to do the AFC tomorrow. It's pretty late. But anyway, the trade was David Johnson from the Cardinals, an overpaid scrub running back, a 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick for a top 3 receiver in the league named DeAndre Hopkins.
I think it was David Johnson for a 2nd and DeAndre Hopkins in a 4th.
The Cardinals acquired.
The Cardinals got DeAndre Hopkins in a 4th, and they gave up David Johnson a 2nd and a 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. So,
okay.
What makes this the worst trade in NFL history, or at least in our lifetime?
Well,
what the fuck?
let me bring up the NBA, for example. I'll bring up someone like Timothy Mozgov. The Lakers overpaid for him. He's trash.
He's completely
very bad.
He's very bad.
Where are you going?
And the Lakers, to trade him, they give up value to trade him. They gave Timothy Mozgov in a 2nd for like a 2nd. So basically, they give up to trade him. That's how it works in the NBA. That's how it works in the NFL too. People do not want David Johnson's contract. The Cardinals announced, like, hey, like, we don't want David Johnson. He's trash. So the Texans are like, all right, we'll give you one of the best players in the NFL.
When I see the David Johnson gets traded, I think it's saying David Johnson in a 5th-round pick.
Well, originally, a few hours before that, the Texans are like, there was a report saying, like, hey, the Texans got David Johnson. I was like, okay, I don't really care. Like, why would they want him? I'm like, they give him DeAndre Hopkins? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, okay. When
the Cardinals should have to give up to get rid of his cap. Basically,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
The Cardinals got a superstar, and they got a bunch of salary cap. They got a superstar and a bunch of money. And the Texans get a 2nd-round pick.
And they still have 3 years left with DeAndre Hopkins. He was asking for a new contract, but he still had time. And he's so good.
Yeah, like what?
They were talking about drafting CeeDee Lamb and the 8th pick in the draft. They just traded a bag of chips, and I guess a 2nd-rounder, for CeeDee Lamb's max potential, kind of in his prime.
Yeah, and not to mention $50 million to go along with that.
This is, honestly, for me, you got to think, is Cliff Kingsbury, like, is he a hypnotist? Was he on the phone and, like...
I think it's more Bill O'Brien
completely, or is Bill O'Brien just easily this, like...
Is marijuana legal in Texas?
No, he's fucking crack legal in Texas. Straight up. I don't know.
His double chin has got to be doing something.
I don't know what Bill O'Brien... I don't know what Bill O'Brien was thinking. I don't know if he just locked all the doors and the GMs and the owners weren't allowed to come in, and he was like, oh, I'm going to trade DeAndre Hopkins, guys. And then he just agreed to it. And DeAndre
maybe it's a prank call. And then
maybe it was a prank call. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to be thinking.
I made that trade.
You got to be thinking if you're the Cardinals, wow, we have Kyler Murray, who's way better than we thought he was going to be. We've got DeAndre Hopkins now. We have a ton of cap space for next year. We have a top 3 receiver in the NFL. Oh, yeah, and we can also get CeeDee Lamb if we want to. The Cardinals...
And even more, they just got Kenny and Drake for pretty cheap. Or they gave him the transition tag. So
exactly.
He was pretty explosive there. They have Christian Kirk, who is meant to be a really good number 2 receiver. They have Fitzgerald still, who can produce and is an amazing leader.
And
they're doing this to a 2nd-year quarterback.
And you still have who's the other who really popped off for the Cardinals last year? I can't think of his name. The wide receiver. Wide receiver.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk was really good last year, and he's going to get better. This wide receiving core might be the best young wide receiving core after the draft. They're going to have either CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald.
They're probably not going to draft a receiver at this point. They're probably going to draft one of the best offensive tackles.
It doesn't even matter.
But when I say David Johnson is a hot pile of garbage,
he is.
Kenny and Drake who is
It's a
known as
compliment.
one of the most overrated NFL players, comes in there. The Cardinals traded 5th-round pick, and like, everyone's doing, what are you doing? You have David Johnson. And he takes his job immediately.
Falk, you're insulting hot piles of garbage. Okay, you
Yeah.
know what David Johnson is? He's my toenail and clippings coming off of my toenails.
David Johnson
like
was
at
just
least
lucky
hot
that I
garbage.
didn't come in and take his job.
At least hot garbage.
Yeah,
smells.
what?
Like if your toenail clippings, you don't even smell. You're just kind of there. You don't do anything. Like,
Okay.
David Johnson's garbage. He's terrible. He's horrible.
He's terrible. But then again, they were paying him $60 million.
Yeah.
So they get a bunch of money. I've said this at least 4 times.
I do think
But
we're
this
being a
is just
little too mean on
amazingly
David Johnson.
Bill
Yeah,
O'Brien
a
should be
little too nice on
fired.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill
We're
O'Brien
being-
should be fired.
We're being a little mean to David Johnson, and we're just not being mean enough to Bill O'Brien.
I feel like he's gotten it so much. But since we're talking about kudos to the Cardinals for just absolutely the Houston Texans. And they just set up their offense for the future incredibly. I think they're already working out to extend DeAndre Hopkins. So they have one of the best receivers in the league for a while.
Not to mention that, we'll talk about this later, but Diggs, who got traded, Stephon Diggs from the Vikings got traded to the Bills, and the Bills gave like a first, second, and like a
First,
fifth.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah, so they give a first.
And so they give up probably double as much.
And the Stephon Diggs is 2 or 3 tiers below
Worse.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And DeAndre Hopkins gives he's such a good receiver. What?
Stephon Diggs is a good receiver. DeAndre Hopkins is a superstar.
I think the Cardinals somehow that kind of trade is gonna put them in as a contender for the next few years.
I mean, maybe
If Kyler Murray could break out.
Maybe the Texans and Bill O'Brien maybe know something. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins tore his ACL, and he didn't tell DeAndre.
Because of the coronavirus, lack of physicals.
Yeah.
If you are,
Maybe DeAndre has the coronavirus.
you are
I still
a-
wouldn't do it though. The thing is, if DeAndre Hopkins tore his ACL, I wouldn't do that trade.
You've cleared up the cap
You just lost
space
a bunch
now.
of money.
Yeah.
You've cleared up the cap space now with the Cardinals, and you're probably gonna do pretty well this year with whoever you draft throughout the draft. You're probably gonna go. Let's just ballpark it. I'm gonna go 9-7, 10-6. This team isn't that good, but
I mean, with
If
the
I was-
17 playoffs, I think that's not this year, but next year,
yeah, it's
they
2021.
could be towards the back. And they're probably not going to be that good considering their division is absolutely stacked. But they still have so much potential, and they have years left on these guys' contracts.
It's ridiculous to me. And Kyler Murray's only getting better, and Kyler Murray was really good last year. Don't sleep
For
on
a
him.
rookie, he was a very good
For a
quarterback.
rookie, he was a
If
very
I
good
was the
quarterback.
Texans, I would give the Texans an F if they gave them Kiki QT and they got David Johnson as a 2nd-round pick. I would give them an F. Just to throw that out there.
If you get a 2nd rounder for Kiki Kuti, you're robbing him.
Bill
But you're
O'Brien got
losing a bunch of money. You're losing a bunch of money.
Bill O'Brien got the worst flavor of chips. Okay, he got salt and vinegar chips, and they're terrible. He got the
Salt
worst
and vinegar
chips.
chips aren't that.
Not the point. Just imagine that they're the worst chips. He got terrible chips, and they were Lay's
Okay.
chips. They got Lay's chips, and Lay's chips are easily the worst chips.
All right, so
We're
move
moving on.
Moving on to the
Seeing
Los
the PMs.
Angeles Rams. Leonard Floyd.
Was there any more with the
signed.
Cardinals?
There are not any more. We already talked about Larry Fitzgerald.
DJ
We talked
Humphries
about-
resigning.
Oh, Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, that was it.
I forgot.
This
Jordan
is
Phillips.
this is
Great
Johnny's
signing.
guy.
Great signing.
Oh yeah,
Cardinals-
you love this guy.
the only team I think who had a better offseason, the Buccaneers or the Cardinals? I think it might be the Cardinals.
I don't
Even
know.
the Buccaneers got Tom.
They got
It's
Tom
the
Brady.
Cardinals. It's
I think it's Cardinals.
They
I
set
don't know.
themselves up for so long.
Yeah.
And I think all they need to worry about now is the offensive line, which is a legitimate issue.
To be
But
fair,
they
they
have-
lost.
It's a deep shot.
They're
for
strong everywhere else, kind of.
To be fair, they lost the fantasy MVP from 2 or 3 years ago.
that. Oh no. No.
To be fair, they lost
No.
the top 5 pick last year.
David
To be fair, they lost $50 million.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the Los Angeles Rams. Like I just said, Leonard Floyd signing a 1-year, $10 million, fully guaranteed deal. Nick Freeman.
So usually I really like this. Usually.
Usually.
Because I think you get an edge rusher on a pretty low pressure deal, like a 1-year deal, to go along with Aaron Donald. They're going to do really well. But Leonard Floyd has had so many opportunities next to Khalil Mack, so you just assume he would be able to produce, and he hasn't. That's why I don't think Leonard Floyd can be a viable fill-in for Bud Dupree. I think his career is pretty much over. He's never going to be. I'm not saying he won't bounce around, but he's never really going to be a legitimate starter again.
When you say filling in for Bud Dupree, do you mean like the Rams?
Not Bud Dupree. Sorry, Dante Fowler.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is very confusing. This is like an overreaction. Like, oh my God, the Bears just dropped him. Let's just sign him.
I don't.
Like,
I
he's
think
not
it's a
even
one-year
that good.
10.
Like,
It's a 1-year 10.
him?
They weren't going to spend their money anywhere else. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay.
He's a rotational edge rusher.
I'm giving it a C.
We're getting to a deal that
it's
I
a 1-year
actually
deal,
do
so
have a
no
problem
risk.
with. So the deal that I do
have a
have a
problem.
with.
Yeah. Okay.
Andrew Whitworth
Yeah.
resigned to a
Oh my
3-year.
God.
Oh my God. He's like 37.
He's 38.
He's 38.
Yeah, he's
Dude,
38.
retire.
A
Dude,
tackle
retire.
cannot be 38.
Dude,
He debated retirement 2 years ago, and now you're signing him for 3 more years.
Straight up retire. Like, what
Bro,
are the Rams
tackles-
trying to do?
Good
He's
tackles.
going to retire in between
Good
this. I'm
tackles
not buying
retire
this
at like
for 3 years.
32.
The
He
Rams
retire at
just
32.
the Rams are having the biggest Super Bowl hangover. Like, they drank
Yeah,
400
they went-
proof alcohol, and they
Yeah,
are
oh
just
my God.
they've just
I
not
honestly-
been the same. They've just
I
not
think
been the same.
the only reason Whitworth did this is I think him and Jason Peters are secretly having a competition to see who will stay longer. And they were both free agents, so he's like, if I'm getting a 3-year deal, fuck it, I'm
Bro,
staying for as long as I can.
I think Jason Peters is like a young kid compared to Andrew Whitworth. Jason Peters is like 36.
Yeah, he's a baby. He hasn't been injured his whole career.
But Andrew Whitworth, hold on, let's just pull up a picture of Andrew Whitworth.
He was real. By the way, Whitworth was one of the best tackles in the league 2 years
Oh wait,
ago.
my bad. Jason
fell off-
Peters
he's
is 38 too. Jason Peters. is
Gray
38 too.
bald hair. When I edit this video, I'll put
Jason
I'll put-
Peters
I'll-
and Andrew Whitworth need a shout out. Andrew Whitworth, man, he's getting his money. This is
Look, man.
this is amazing.
Look, I'm totally willing to be surprised on this. If Andrew Whitworth is watching this video, he's probably not. He looks like Humpty Dumpty. I'm just saying he looks
But
human.
great for
Okay.
you. Sorry for the Rams. He's not what you want at tackle.
He's
I'm
not.
okay with a
He's old.
1-year
He gets
deal.
hurt
He's
a
a
lot.
good fill-in, but he's too old.
He's too
I
old.
don't think he gets hurt too much, but he's really old.
He's a good tackle. He was
38.
one of the best tackles in the league.
No
But
way he
this is
finishes that
just
contract. There's just no chance.
Confusing deal.
I think there's got to be something in that deal where after a year or two they'll have
There's
him
got to be
retire.
some retirement clause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else did they do? They lost Corey Littleton, so now they're kind of thin at linebacker.
They lost Corey Littleton, and
He's
that-
fast and good.
They couldn't keep him.
That
He's really
appears
good though.
that appears to be it on their side. Moving on to
Their
the next
roster's
team.
still in win now mode for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
he got safety.
So I've got.
There's also rumors that Todd Gurley
I was
is
just gonna
likely
say
to
there's
be traded more
There's
than
rumors that
unlikely.
Gurley could be traded and that Melvin Gordon potentially could move over to the Rams. How do we feel about this?
So I think that's an upgrade for sure. Just considering Gurley's knee. The one issue is they're paying him a lot, and I don't know who wants him. Unless a team is like, let's say the Falcons are like, fine, we'll give you Julio Jones, another DeAndre Hopkins type deal.
That'd be-
Being real though, I think this actually
Just as a
will be a
prank
Todd
call.
Gurley salary dump to whoever is willing to pay that. It could be a team like Miami or Indianapolis or something with just a lot of
Yeah.
cap. Actually, I think the Bills should go for him.
I think what should happen.
Devin
and the-
Singletary is fine. And Frank
thing with-
Gore,
Give him
bro,
a
he's got
a
lot.
chance at some help.
The
Is
thing with
Frank Gore not
Melvin,
retired?
the Frank Gore is not going to retire. I would still.
He's
keep
a
him on the
wrecking
roster.
ball. He's
an absolute
Yeah.
beast.
I want to see
Yeah.
Frank Gore running behind Andrew Whitworth every time. You got like the paramedics on the sideline just in case.
Frank
Jason
Gore,
Peters on the other side.
Jason Peters, Tom Brady,
He's a free agent.
Warren Moon. He played until he was like 50.
he
Adam
came back.
Vinatieri, who turned into the worst kicker of all time last year. But I digress.
Thomas Davis on the other side.
So I think the thing with Melvin Gordon is he held out last year because he thought he was going to get a lot of money, and now that he's a free agent, he's not. He's going to get less money than he would have gotten if he had signed with the Chargers in the first place.
Yeah, and now like
So-
Austin Eckler
If the-
gets this deal, and he's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Yeah, if the Rams can do that, you for sure go for Melvin Gordon.
I think.
But I don't think they will.
Look
I don't
for the
think any team
Dolphins.
is taking Gurley.
Look for the Dolphins to get either free agent Devontae Freeman, who was released the other day by the Falcons, or Melvin Gordon, or even Todd Gurley. I can see it.
They just got
The-
Jordan Howard, so they could
the
take time with him.
Exactly. The Dolphins are making noise, but it is what it is. Moving on. It is what it is. San Francisco 49ers. I don't think a Super Bowl hangover is going to happen this year, but I'm totally willing to be surprised on that. Eric Armstead re-signed with the 49ers in a 5-year contract worth up to $85 million. We all like
No,
this deal. I'm
6 year,
assuming.
102. I think they gave him another year.
Really?
They added it, yeah.
Okay, it's not been updated on my sheet, but it's okay. Big deal. He deserves it. He was tremendous last year. But in the process, he lost his buddy DeForest Buckner to the Colts. But they were going to
overall pick.
they were going to choose between one of them. I think they made the
had
right
to
choice.
choose between one of them.
They definitely did really well.
Well, DeForest I think is the better one, but DeForest would have cost more, which I don't
And
think
you
they
got
could have
value. And you got
afforded.
value.
Armstead probably brings more value
exactly.
as a pass rusher.
I mean,
DeForest
DeForest Buckner is
asking for
insane.
20.
DeForest
He's a
Buckner is a
physical
6'7" defensive tackle. Like, that's amazing.
Clay
So-
I
Thompson
think
is
it's
also-
possible, and I don't know if they're going
Eric
to,
Armstead
but
is too, to be
if they let Emmanuel Sanders walk, and based on the mock draft that
They-
we'll probably release
he's already
next
gone.
week, we'll probably release it next week. They can get CeeDee Lamb. They could 100% get CeeDee Lamb. 1,000,000%.
CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs. I think one of them will be available at 13.
And
so
they
they
could
could
get
go
it.
forever there. They're
I
kind of
think
thin at
Judy-
cornerback.
Judy's probably going to go at 11 to the Raiders, but if they're sitting at 12, they could probably
They
get CeeDee
also
Lamb. That's a steal.
Could take a Javon Kinlaw at 13, who pretty much just fills in for DeForest
13.
Buckner and is way cheaper.
That's amazing. And
They got a
he's
lot of value.
great,
It was smart.
he's a great prospect. So the 49ers are just a classic. It depends on what they do this season. But I feel like they've done a great job of just, like, keep pushing, keep getting more players, keep adding depth. And I think
One thing with Armstead, 6 years is a lot for a guy who's only had one really good year.
That's true.
It was a great year, but it was 1 year.
with other
nonetheless.
guys to help him out too. So
Yeah.
and we have to, in terms of that pick, the 49ers, they don't have many picks after. They do have 2 first-round picks, but they don't have any picks after that. So it could be a possibility that they will trade down.
Should the
I think
49ers
that's more likely from 31.
Yeah,
Should
it
the
is.
Or what if they
49ers
tried trading up? With
I
those
was
two
thinking
picks?
that too. What if the 49ers try to trade their 2 first-round picks for a pick inside the top 10?
But they need to get depth everywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but that would be interesting.
Moving on, Ben Garland
also-
re-signing with the 49ers.
Yeah, they
One-year
also got
contract.
Jimmy Ward.
I was going to say that too. Jimmy Ward seems more relevant. Re-signing with the 49ers on a 3-year contract worth of $28.5 million.
Another guy San Francisco has made look good. Pretty good
Yeah.
timing. I like
Yeah,
it.
pretty good signing.
But
Nothing.
yeah.
You
really-
need to remember, George Kittle is going to be a free agent next year, and he's probably going to be asking for a lot of money. So they need to figure out how
And there's
to.
going to be a lot of people
extend him.
calling for George
Like
Kittle.
record-breaking money.
I mean, the tight end high is, I guess, Austin Hooper with like 11 or 12 million. He'll probably
He's
be asking
breaking
towards 20.
Yeah, I'm
I
assuming.
bet you Kittle might get 20 million a year, or close to.
He's worth it. 100% worth it.
Depends on the injury concerns, but
It is what it is. Moving on to the last team in this division, the Seattle Seahawks. I think in this division, it's weird. Besides the Cardinals, they have so many holes to fill on this roster. It is unbelievable. Starting out simple, BJ Finney, offensive lineman, signed with the Seahawks, 2-year, $8 million. Not that
Is
big
he
of a
good,
deal.
Nick?
he's okay. He's a guard. He's just
Yeah.
backup.
Former Steeler.
But-
He's going to probably start.
I don't know if he is.
Because
Maybe
they lost
a couple years ago.
They
they're
need
losing- I
help.
think they're going to cut their center, Joey Hunt. No, yeah.
I
Wait,
think he was
not
their
Joey Hunt.
backup. I think he was
Yeah,
their
not Joey
backup.
Hunt. The starter, what's his name? I'm going to figure this out by the end of the show.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, that's right.
While Nick does
Mac-
that,
Wait. Was that right?
maybe.
No, was it?
Matt something.
Matt Unger.
Okay, let's go.
Unger.
No,
Unger.
you're
No,
tired.
they
That's
traded
Matt's
him.
Unger. They traded him so long
And
ago.
you're tired. Okay,
And you're
Yeah.
tired. Okay, moving on. Jacob Hollister. The team is giving Hollister a second-round tender. I think his season – was he the one whose season ended because of injury, or was that the other tight end?
it was Will Disley.
Will Disley's really good.
Yeah.
Jacob Hollister's really good. Or maybe
He's
they
not
looked
really
good.
good, but
They looked good. They looked good with Russell Wilson.
And they have Greg Olson, who they
They
just
do have
got.
Greg Olson.
It's
So
they're
Justin
pretty stacked
Britt. It's Justin Britt.
Yeah, Justin Britt.
there you go. Jacob Hollister, 2-year second-round tender. Not really a lot to make of this. Whatever. Bruce Irvin, edge, expected to sign with the Seahawks.
It's just kind of odd. He's old, but he was a former Seahawk. I think it was more of a legacy rotational guy.
He's still a good player for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks really like them. Really like him. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cedric Ogbuehi,
I
sorry,
don't even-
agreed to terms with the Seahawks. That honestly doesn't really matter. Greg Olson
fine.
signed a 1-year deal, $7 million deal.
Low risk, I like it.
That was in February.
Yeah, I give Russell Wilson a weapon, especially with Will Disley out.
Jaron Reed re-signed with the Seahawks 2 years.
Oh, I like Jaron Reed.
That's a pretty big deal.
Reed.
So 2 years ago, he was one of the better defensive tackles in the league. He had like 10 sacks. This year, he had a 6-game suspension. I think it was PEDs, and he wasn't good. But he still is one of the best interior pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, you need to lock him up.
One of the better guys.
Lock him up now.
And I think if Clowney,
which is what we're gonna get to now,
having another pass rusher would be really important.
So, but Nick Folk has said it so many times. People mistake Jadeveon Clowney as a pass rusher. He's really more of a run stopper. But
I wouldn't go there.
He's better at the run
Nick Folk, pass, but he's still a true edge rusher.
If it was your team, if you guys were,
he's a true edge run stopper.
If Nick Folk, if you guys were the GMs of the Seahawks, does Clowney deserve to be the highest paid edge rusher in the NFL?
No. But he also isn't going to be there. So we've had this conversation a lot. The asking price now seems like it's more around like $18 million, which is a lot more reasonable.
Even lower. The market has really dried out for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
right now it's like him, the Giants, the Cowboys who can't play shit, and that might be it.
I heard the Giants are really interested, but I think the Seahawks for me are the most likely possibility.
It makes the most sense for him to stay with.
He's gonna stay.
I can't really think of anybody else. I think he doesn't really care about the team. He just wants money. He doesn't actually care about winning.
They need that impact defensive player besides the always underrated Bobby Wagner. And they're gonna have no pass rush without him, like zero. They need to keep him, and I think he'll get paid to maybe like a 4-year, $70 million deal.
The Seahawks are confusing right now because they're deteriorating in a lot of different positions. So
thank God they have Russell Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. They need to make some moves to get some more depth and not exactly playmakers, but just depth all around because they've been struggling in that recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the NFC West for you. That's the whole NFC actually. If you watch the series. Yeah, the whole saga.
Of that
we've been talking for the last 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Went by that. Drop a like.
You can argue with us in the comment section.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell your friends. Please subscribe. We'll continue with more content through this quarantine.
It's not like we have anything else to do.
AFC dropping soon.
AFC dropping soon. And thanks for listening. And
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Stay safe out there. Yeah.